Namaste and welcome to this special uh, podcast discussion on the biggest human congregation on earth, the ageless and still modern Mahakumbh 2025. The famous Bollywood setting would always depict Kumbh as do bhai bichhad gaye, some kind of stampede. And then, to discuss about how now it has changed, we have with us, the person who has created the wonderful infrastructure and facilities and facilitated this process on behalf of government of Uttar Pradesh, Shri Amrit Abhijat ji, who is known for creating wonderful infrastructure right from housing and now almost new city around Prayagraj Sangam. And also a very dear friend and for organizer audience not new, Shantanu Gupta, who is a author and autobiographer of UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath ji, and he has been a sort of ambassador of what is good happening in Uttar Pradesh, not just in India but all over the world. So, Amritji, let us start with you. As I said, this has been the setting. Last Mahakumbh in 2013 also, those memories are there about the stampede. And so 2019 was remarkably different. And now we are expecting crores of people, 35 to 40, the range is there. So, what kind of infrastructure and the amount that we are listening to in terms of investment and infrastructure creation is huge in thousands of crores. So, how do you see this happening, and what is the rationale behind this? The government is pouring so much of money. Many people accuse this, oh, this is for 45 days, and why we are doing so much. So
Yeah.
what is your take on this?
Okay. Very nice. So I'll first deal with a broad perspective on what is the kind of investment and why particularly, and then break down into pieces. Where exactly? So the overall investment in the Mahakumbh this year, 2025, is to the tune of about 7,000 crores for the government of UP and almost an equivalent amount for the government of India. The government of UP largely is investing on infrastructure and the Mela, whereas the government of India is primarily investing in big time infrastructures, namely the expansion of the rail network, the national highway roads, which has been newly been made from Raebareli to Pratapgarh, also other roads, then major bridges which have come about, flyovers, and also in the expansion of the civil aviation terminal here in Prayag. And government of India's main intervention is now therefore primarily on roads, aviation, railways, some amount of buildings which are belonging to the government of India through health ministries, so on and so forth. The government of UP has invested most of its money in the PWD infrastructure, which is the road infrastructure. Then you have the irrigation. The road infrastructure is practically out of the 75,000 crores, close to about 2,600 crores is for PWD only. Then the irrigation department has got about 1,000 odd crores, which is for the laying down of the Pakka Ghats all along the Sangam area. The third most important contributor is, of course, the Jal Nigam, which has ensured not only the water supply, fire hydrants within the Mela area, which is not as heavy as the investment which the Jal Nigam has done in creation of STPs, plants, and to ensure that the flow in the river water is non-polluted in
Mhm.
terms of creating structures which lead to pure water, evacuation of sewer drain in other parts and other through other technologies rather than putting it down on the Sangam itself. So, as I said, the fourth major investment is in terms of what we've offered to the Municipal Corporation of Allahabad and the Development Authority. What I want to emphasize here is that out of this 14,000 crores, about 75%, a little away here and there, is for permanent structure, which we will be benefiting from as the years go by. So it is, in a sense, a city that will clearly compete with the other major cities of Lucknow, Ghaziabad, Gorakhpur, Banaras, and now Allahabad, which obviously Prayag had developed in 2019 also, but we are taking it from here. That is one in terms of infrastructures. But the infrastructure that we are also talking about is the digital infrastructure in which we've invested in a big way by means of camera and the use of AI in the overall Kumbh. So it is not the criticism that it is just a 45-day fair and most of it will be removed. Let me assure you that a very, uh, you know, not a very significant part is going in temporary structures because well as the people of India do deserve to have their entire bathing experience and visiting of Sangam as a very great one. We are quite conscious of the fact that, having said that, people will look into the issues of infrastructure also. The city beautification, in which we have invested in a big way, will ensure that the tourism traffic in the city of Prayag becomes much more continuous. I'll just name a few of them. One of them is the making of the Shivale Park, which is getting close to 10 to 15,000 people a day. And the investment that we did as state smart cities and the other projects, we have come close to our recouping the entire amount that we had invested as government. So, the kind of traction people have in projects like this. Similarly, you will see the Pillar of Faith, which has come about, 84 Pillar of Faith, which is going to be monumental discovery for people, because 1 lakh yonis, 1 lakh birth within the Hindu pantheon. Each pillar signifies that birth of the 84 lakh births that we think, and between the cycle of birth and death and rebirth and moksha. So, or you could say from the childhood to karma yoga, and then vanaprastha, and then sannyas. So we divided in 4 parts, 21 million lakhs years of birth for each of these. So making 84, like 21 into 4. Then we have the Jyotirling Park. We have all the roundels which have been decorated. The new city of digital museum which is being created, which is again a long-term investment. So, tourists, those who will come, or people of Allahabad, people of Prayag, people from the state, all of them would be visiting these places as times go by and see the city in its full bloom to be able to offer. Second very important benefit that I see from this is that it is not only investment of 15,000 or 14,000 crores. The investment has gone down so well in taking the economy forward that this will be rebuilt. The Stanford is doing a research on this, and BMDF Foundation was here with us. They are examining the economic impact of this kind of affair. I was reading somewhere that 800 crore worth garlands will be used in the Mela. About 17,000 crore will be used for various other facilities of food and eating and all that. So we expect roughly about 2 lakh crore worth of economic activity during the Mela. And obviously, it is the people of this country who will be benefiting either by selling flowers, or maybe quilt, or maybe various facilities, soaps, etc. So it is also a huge economic activity that is taking place, and the direct beneficiary are the people, those who deserve to have a economic upliftment. And the sheer numbers of people deployed in the work is, I'll just give you a broad figure: 15,000 people cleaning the Mela area, 9,000 people cleaning the city. So it's direct benefit to about 25,000 people who need the state support in a big way, and through economic activity, nothing could be better. What also was more important is that while we cruise towards the goal of 1 trillion economy, this kind of an activity, in terms of what we are able to create, will also propel that sort of a growth. So, urban infrastructure has been really spruced up through the smart cities, through the state funding, through all of the various schemes. And I think that is a big takeaway in terms of what we are trying to offer to the world when we invite them from tomorrow onwards.
Amritji, two things. One important aspect you mentioned about the religious and the spiritual understanding behind creating this infrastructure. you talked about the 84 yonis, you talked about the four ashramas
Yeah.
representing. So while creating the Kumbh infrastructure, what kind of the spiritual and religious significance that has been taken into consideration? One, and two, there is a lot of criticism about the facilities being created. People many a times are now talking about, oh, it is a some VIP suits are created. So, but for common man purpose, when it comes to the connectivity, when it comes to the accessibility, uh, how far the machinery
Good
and the
question.
infrastructure has taken this
Good question.
aspect into consideration, the facility part.
Okay. See, I was the district magistrate here in 2006-7 also, and I had the opportunity of getting the Earth Kumbh done. The things have really changed in this country, and this sort of a criticism is, does not serve any purpose, largely for the fact that when we create something like this, obviously it is mostly for the people of the country who come not because of us, they would have come anyways. But when they come here, because Kumbh is not something that we started yesterday, or this government did that. This has been happening forever. Only thing is that what the state and the government thinks that this is also a governance issue. There have been incidents in the past which we have not been able to focus about ourselves about. So to facilitate this, we have 2,000 buses which are deployed, electric vehicles which have been deployed, large number of trains to chuck the millions of people who will be visiting, huge number of roads networks to be set up. The waterways are there. We have set up at least a camp of 25,000 people who can stay there for free with food and the lodging facilities and heat camps. Each and every pilgrim who comes by is checked thoroughly, because obviously nefarious elements have to be kept at bay. But the larger purpose of this Mela is to serve the people of the country. Yes, there are tents for the some honorables, and there is no shame in saying that they also deserve darshan or and a dip in the sangam. But that probably would account for maybe 1%, 3,000, 2,000 number of these things which have been set up. The larger thing is that there are also tourism bodies, the independent companies who are selling this, and like any other Mela, if a person can pay and enjoy whatever is being done, there are paid accommodations which the people are taking. There are some offered by the government for its guests, but we are not asking them to come on the main dates of bathing, because we believe that these can have implications. But mostly everybody is welcome. I was there in the sector 6, 7, and 8, which is called as the Prayagraj sector, where large number of settlements are there. You'll be surprised. Today, the crowd at this point of time would be anywhere between 35 to 40 lakhs, and not one VIP amongst them. They are just lay people who've been coming for generations and enjoying the emergence of Kumbh already.
Oh, that is really
Yes,
already happening place. And as you mentioned, security will be a major concern. Uh,
yes,
what about that? And besides security, because in April of 2019, there was a lot of talk about the way cleanliness was
yes,
maintained. So you mentioned about the numbers, but what are the special efforts? The Kumbh is not just about spirituality, but also the
yes,
challenges, the garbage
yes.
management and the cleanliness.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
how are you and the administration is taking this issue forward?
Two very important pillars of the entire Mela rests on the security and the experience of the safe law and order and the cleanliness. The Honorable Chief Minister has made it abundantly clear, and the Honorable Prime Minister was here, that this is most important, and to ensure that the deployment of the police is above 46,000 personnel deployed, drones, full security drill, training for people drowning, recognition systems, biometric attendance for staff. The movement of traffic will be through the camera, where we will be able to track any choking of communication lines or mobility across, once you move from one district to another, say from coming from Mirzapur side to Allahabad, Prayag, or coming from the side of Lucknow. We will be able to track them and be able to modulate the traffic, as in the number of people bathing, and there is a circularity around which the movement has to happen. So, the use of artificial intelligence not only to track vehicles and other things. You'll be surprised, the Prayag Nagar Nigam is monitoring the garbage waste, stray animals, lights, luminescence, hoardings through the use of AI. And the AI, suppose there is a portal somewhere, the AI is able to generate an image, send it to the control room. We get that done through the JE concerned. The event is then closed. And within the 1 month of operation, we've closed close to 21,000 cases where either lights have fused or there are, nitty-gritties of small little grievances. So, the use of digital technology in this Kumbh is going to be humongous, not only for the security purposes, but also for cleaning. Having said that, I come to the second point. The absolute cleanliness that we got a lot of kudos for in 2019, we are taking to the next level, because in the last 6 years, there has been more technological interventions. So there is a prefabricated STP plant which has been set up, which we call as FSSM method, in which the human feces are then carried to a STP plant, and they are then disposed in a very, very scientific manner. Close to 1.5 lakh toilet is being made, and they're all up and about. We had some issues with regard to water supply. We are ensuring round the clock work. Entire team of officials are there. So it will be provisioned, it will be maintained through QR code systems. There will be a set of drill where these toilets will be checked about. There could be initial problems of things not getting adjusted immediately, but as we go along, it has to be the greenest Kumbh. One extremely important factor is that it will also be a zero plastic Kumbh, where we will not allow that sort of a plastic which is banned. We have had enough raids, education programs, also to make the production of such plastic difficult. We have been roping in people from across the state, because there are certain states which do send this sort of a plastic material. So we've been working on that front also. But largely, people of Prayag and the traders, we have been speaking to them. They are all very motivated, and alternate solutions like bags, jute bags or cotton bags have been promoted. So clean Kumbh, green Kumbh, most importantly, very, very secure Kumbh. This perhaps is the going to be the most important intervention that we are making, and we are very conscious of the fact that we are aiming at getting national awards in the different categories when it comes to that, because we are making a whole lot of effort on that count.
Okay, Amritji, before the last thing that I would like to know from you. See, Kumbh has been happening for ages, as you also said. There are various types of akhadas, the great sadhus and seers who come. People from various sects come there. They have their own traditions. They have their own ways of handling these things. Besides that, there are local communities who have been associated with organization of Kumbh for generations together. So how government is ensuring their participation? How far this Kumbh is inclusive Kumbh? Besides clean and secured and infrastructurally beautiful Kumbh, how far socially it is inclusive Kumbh?
See, I'll just take it from an incident. Last time around, the Harvard and the LSE had done study on the Kumbh, the management system. So this time, the Honorable Chief Minister told that let's try and figure out who are the people who would want to come, and we are welcome to. We are very happy welcoming them. So we just had a limited RFP, and we asked for expression of interest. I wrote to 39 of them. 62 of them were responded, and we have been able to finalize about 23, 24 institutions, in which Harvard, Stanford, BMGF, all of them, the IITs, the IIMs, NIUA, n number of institutions have applied. What I want to say is that within the topics suggested, one is national integration. And when they say national integration, what they mean to say is that how, despite pulls or pressures or tradition, people come by themselves for the sake of their faith. So it's really important that faith is so important that whether it is the akhadas, whether it is the common people, whether it is the other section of population who think that they should be here because it's a lifetime opportunity, we are taking care of each and everybody. The Honorable Chief Minister, in deep respect and reverence towards the entire Akhada system, went to each of them, walked and greeted them and welcomed them in the city of Prayag and the Uttar Pradesh state. So they are all very happy. They've been provided for whatever we are doing in terms of water connection, in terms of electricity connection, in terms of facilities of health that can be offered. And obviously, it's a long tradition. We don't only honor them, but we are very happy that they are here. They are participating. They will be given a separate passage for bathing because that has been the tradition. So we are honoring them in a big way. They have been very kind to us, and it is under their blessings that the entire Kumbh Mela will unfold. Obviously, the millions and millions of people will then start celebrating accordingly also, because the expansion of ghats has been so much that by the method of dredging on the river, we've been able to create a large space around the Sangam, the Aravat Ghat, the Daswamashid Ghat. So all of it is there, and we are expecting a huge turnaround around the Moni Amavasya particularly.
Thank you, Amritji, for sparing time and in this
One last
difficult
thing.
time. Yes,
One last thing
yes,
I must
please.
say. The Honorable Chief Minister is so keen that this has to be a unique experience that while he was taking around, he met a couple of students, kids who were just playing around. So the next day we set up a school, and there are n number of schools that during the Kumbh period, who the laborers' childrens, they will be provided education also. So it's just not everybody, but the kids also who will not only have the experience of Sangam, but get education educated as well.
Great, great, great. Thank you for throwing light
Thank
and the
you.
way you and the entire administration has taken efforts.
Thank you.
And
It's a huge team.
our best wishes, and all of us will be at some point of time will be visiting the
Yes.
Kumbh
It is
and
a governance
taking the
challenge and
experience.
an opportunity. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Hope this would be, the biggest, and not just the biggest, the most beautiful and the cleanliest and the technology savvy and still spiritually and religiously vibrant Mahakumbh of this century.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amritji, for
Thank you.
sparing time
Thank
and
you.
talking
Thank you,
to all of
Amritji.
us.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Shantanu.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
So, you have been seeing this change in Uttar Pradesh and the way
Yeah.
infrastructure, the way religious festival, the way resurgence. So now tell me how we can now surely say that Kumbh will no longer be about Do Bhaiyo Ka Bichadna and Stampede. It is an ageless festival, and you have studied,
Yeah.
the spiritual significance of Kumbh. But unfortunately, it has been projected and depicted in a very, very negative fashion. So, how now this from negativity to positivity? How do you see this journey?
Prafulji, while you were so eloquently chatting with the senior IS officer, he's the urban development principal secretary in the Yogi government, the senior IS officer. Did you? I'm sure you did. I was noticing the terminology, and that comes from the topic. IS officers is telling about that with the blessings of God, with the blessings. I'm looking for the blessings of
Akhadas and
the
the sadhus
ritual.
and the saints.
He's talking about now there's the Shivalaya park, there's a Jyotirling park. He's talking about 24 yonis in those pillars. He's talking about the Char Varnashrams. I don't know when I heard such a terminology, such a grammar, such a vocabulary from an administrative officer, right? So
Mhm,
this comes from the leadership.
mhm,
Juxtaposing this with 2013 Kumbh, when Azam Khan was the Prabhari for the Kumbh, among the
mhm,
2007 MLAs and 65
mhm,
ministers, he was the only
mhm.
one available for Akhilesh Yadav to be the
Managed
Prabhari of the.
Kumbh.
And when Amritji so beautifully told that Yogi Adityanath understand this parampara since he was 22, he's coming as a mahant, as a mahant elect with his Guruji Mahanta Vednath since he was 22. So for him,
Mhm,
it's like a very natural battleground, right? He's coming to Kumbh, many kumbhs, not only Prayag Kumbh, many other kumbhs, right? So he knows the sanctity of the akhada culture, akhada tradition. That's why you've seen the amazing pictures that he went walking to each of the akhadas, met the Mahamandleshwar, met the sadhus, met the Shrimans there, had food there, had some greetings there, and kind of welcomed them with wholeheartedness. Versus Azam Khan, the Prabari. So, and the grammar, the language that an IS officer is speaking, apart from the technology, apart from the management, apart from the Stanford and Harvards, I think that's the beach of the change. That's the seed of the change. I think that's I think at the fulcrum of it, right? So now the narrative from Bache, see, there were four narratives around Kumbh, right? Which are Western media or a Vampanthy media or a Bollywood Urdu type of media. One is बच्चे खो जाते हैं, मतलब जाओ मत, बहुत भीड़ होती है, जो उसमें थोड़ा आयोटा ट्रुथ भी है क्योंकि पहले मैनेजमेंट भी नहीं होता, there was hardly any management there, right? So there were stampedes in 2013, there were no lost and found. When Amrit ji was telling, there is a recognition software technology with AI, you can mark faces, right? They are tagging technologies, right? How they are doing with their multiple control rooms so that there is no choking point that has come. Did you follow that? He said हमने पक्का घाट 12 kilometer stretch का बनाया है. You know what is the significance of that? Earlier the ghat was only 2-3 kilometers. So all
Right.
those crores of people will choke towards those 2-3 kilometers. Versus now it expanded to 12 kilometers. Right? See, Sangam is all across, but earlier the reachable ghat which we can reach by walking, those ghats were in some jungle, some matti there, right? So now that's also developed, and there is no choking point. If a prime minister will click a selfie in Isle of Prayagraj, that selfie point will then every half a kilometer. So even if they look for where prime minister was there yesterday, or Yogi ji was there Saturday, or some Ambani or Amitabh Bachchan was there yesterday, they will find in their ghat also. So every ghat is beautifully developed, and this is how the chief minister and the whole team have put the heart and soul into it, right? Did you hear the last thing? That there are so many safai karmis, so many laborers, they come with their families, right? For 40 days, what do their kids do? There are temply 3 to 4 hours of schools for this kid. This can only a very thoughtful sannyasi can only think of such smaller aspect. That's why I think we are seeing what we are seeing, I guess. Yeah.
But Shantanu, it's spiritually very significant. Perhaps these are the melas and the festivals that kept India together for thousands of years. But unfortunately, somebody tried to limit it to Akbar. Somebody tried to, it is the British period. So how do you see this Kumbh tradition, and what is the significance spiritually? Because in Buddhist tradition, now yesterday we have seen the Sikh gurus entering Prayag, and from northeast side, entire all the fault lines that are played around, whether north south or northeast or whatever, all are broken in these kind of melas. So how do you see the historical significance of this great congregation? You are on mute, I think. You are on mute.
Yeah. The word akhada here doesn't represent the Kushti ka akhada. It represents the word akhand, right? The akhandata and all the fault lines meticulously created by the Vampanthis, by the Westerners, by the Islamists, by the Christian missionaries. They all merged there. All these 13 akhadas, the Shaiv akhadas, the Vaishnav akhadas, but the interesting, the Udasin akhadas, the Bada Panchayati Udasin, the Chota Panchayati Udasin, the Nirmal, they are largely Sikh akhadas. So can you imagine they are sitting in New York, the Pannu is saying, I will do some attack on Mahakumbh. And here today, there was on road, there were Sikh akhadas. There were the Peshwai of Sikh akhadas, right? And the Sikh community at large might not be unaware of this. So I think good that we are talking about that. It's a merger of so many akhadas. In Shaivites, we have Mahanirmani, we have Atal, we have Niranjani, we have Anand, Juna, the biggest akhada of all. We have Abhan and Agni. In Vaishnav, we have Nirvani, Digambar, and Nirmohi, and the three Udasin akhadas. So these 13 akhadas, and the mention Prayag being a holy place, how the dip is important there, we find mention in Rigveda. Let me mention the 10.89.7, right? And Ramcharit Manas and Valmiki Ramayana, when Valmiki ji, when Vishwamitra ji are taking Ram and Lakshman to kill Tadaka, he's narrating the story of Samudra Manthan to them, right? So, and it's so funny. Some Maulana ji yesterday was saying, "तो वक्फ ही जमीन पे बन रहा है." मतलब जिसका mention ऋग्वेद में है, जिसका mention रामायण में है, वो वो वक्त की भूमि पे एंड प्रयाग में और एक फनी चीज है एंड वेरी इनफैक्ट आई थिंक अमृत जी मिस मेंशन दैट वेरी चैलेंजिंग फॉर द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन the river leaves a different bank at different times, right? So
Hmm.
river will leave the bank this side, that side, this quarter, that quarter will be decided only by September, October. So they have a challenge that for large parts of infrastructure, tent infrastructure, road
Hmm.
infrastructure, they have to create only in last 4 months. So
Hmm.
you will see in Google Map while you're walking at some places there's a river. You'll say, "Oh, am I walking in a river?" Because it was a river 3 months back. The river only left
Shift.
the bank 3 months back. It's shifting river, right? Meandering river, and that river bed was Waqf Jameen. It seems. Can you imagine that? Like it is the height of stupidity. Not only the river bank, the river bed was also Waqf bank. It seems, right? So and like our accounts were burned in Takshila and Nalinda from Huansang to various other Western philosophers. Even Aine Akbari and Tabliki Akbari, we have a mention of Kumbh Mela. And that's happening, right? And that's why Akbar was so
And
fascinated.
there are so many inscriptions. Besides, means Yuan Sang has mentioned the details about thousands of people getting together, and but
Exactly.
even the Buddhist tradition, even the Gupta
And,
tradition, everywhere the inscriptions are there about
and
Kumbh,
especially the
and that has been.
donation tradition of king, that
Yes,
King
yes, yes.
Harshvardhan will come and donate this much to this many sadhus, this many saints, and take pride in that, right? There was almost a competition among kings. How much will we donate? Today we'll talk about government is spending, right? Those time it was like a competition, which king and which gharana and which rich family will donate more, right? That was like a coveted tradition that time, and which is documented well, as you rightly said.
Mm-hmm. And the churning part, the people always just talk about the dip, but what happens throughout these 45 years is
Mm.
basically the sadhana that sadhus have done in various
Mm.
phases, and the
Exactly.
findings about the life, about the practical lessons of spirituality. They actually, so there are people who are there for the entire Kumbh. So what is going on? यार, मतलब दिन भर भजन चल रहा है, आख्यान चल रहा है, उसका निरूपण चल रहा है, और उसके आधार पर समाज में जाकर अगले सालों में क्या करना, उसके
Mm.
सुधार के प्रयास भी चल रहे हैं. So it is a wonderful way of keeping society alive and in a
Exactly.
constantly churning and reformist mode. So
I think it's like a
why?
it's like a super grand conference of sharing best practices, sharing learning, share my discoveries, right? Someone in the Kandaras of Himalaya, some in Assam, some in Tamil Nadu. Do see these rishis are nothing but scientists, right? Somebody's discovering about Ayurveda, yoga, different ways to interpret Vedas, Upanishads, new meditation techniques, new yoga techniques. They're all, as we were discussing while we were going to Dharwad last week, that how they will first come to Namisharanya, doing their
Hmm,
own vimarsh there, and
hmm,
whatever comes out, they will come here, do the final discussion, and give it to the grahasthas. The grahasthas will
hmm,
come. They are the audience of this. So among the rishis themselves, among the sadhus themselves, and among the users of that knowledge, which is the grahasthas.
hmm,
So that's why so
hmm,
many grahasthas will come, and among those, the 10 lakh, 20 lakh kalpavasis that every time come, they spend those
hmm,
45 years in been following those 21 very strict vows, right? And see, I always imagine when this 40 crore people will go back, Prafulji, to their houses, their families, their mohallas, their gullies, right? And with supercharged with the Kumbh environment, where all these divine Naga sadhus, so many sadhus will take a dip. It's like a national recharge of country, I feel, right? Like, and every 3 4 years, some Kumbh the other is happening among the four Kumbhs, right? So I think this is a very smart way, or a national recharging of the whole country. The divinity level of, if there is a way to measure that, the divinity level of the whole country will rise with this 45 days.
And
I
earlier,
feel.
what used to happen, Shantanu, भारत में सेवा वृत्ति, भिक्षा वृत्ति और ऐसे अलग अलग, देयर वर वेरियस कम्युनिटीज दैट वर डिवाइडेड. तो बहुत
Mhm.
सारे जो कथाकार होते थे, हमारे यहाँ
Mhm.
पे महाराष्ट्र में वासुदेव होते थे, जो
होते
हर
थे.
बार बहुरूपीय होते थे, वो भी आते
Mhm.
हैं, और वो भी और then they take back these things through their various
Exactly.
acts, various songs to the
Exactly.
society.
Exactly.
So that was a very a wonderful way of taking the things forward. So one is the spiritual aspect of it, the religious aspect of it, and then the social aspect of it. But there is huge economy, as Amrit ji
Exactly,
was
huge economic
mentioning the
aspect. Yeah.
numbers. So people who generally, make a mockery or criticize, they do not
Hmm.
understand. यार मंदिर बनने से ये हो जाएगा क्या, रोजगार मिलेगा क्या, ये ऐसे पैसा खर्च करने से क्या होता है, how do you explain them, or should we
Yeah.
just leave them?
No, no. So, per se, temple economy is a subject of research for a lot of philosophers, right? And a lot of modern researchers also. And recently, in an interview, in a TV interview, Yogi Adityanath was mentioning in the respect of Ayodhya that
Hmm.
before temple, hardly 2 to 3 lakh people used to come to Ayodhya. This year, the number that plot is 16 crores, right? Can you imagine? 2 lakh, 16 crores, right? And a BHU study, multiple studies said that even a lower middle class person, when it comes, like you can come by a flight or a train or a road or a bus or a auto or a like whatever medium, right? You
I
will
walk.
eat, you will buy some kalavas, you will spend, you will take a boat ride, you'll eat something, you'll take that Ganga Jal ka pipa, you'll drink water. It spends around 3 to 5,000 rupees at a minimum, right? If you multiply it with 16 crore people that coming in a year in Ayodhya last year, right? It is 50,000 to 80,000 crore rupees economy just for Ayodhya, right? And it's
Hmm.
giving job to not only Ayodhya, lot of people in the eastern UP. And similarly
Hmm.
in Kumbh last time they were had a hue and cry. All the your whole lobby, whole gang was, अरे 4,000 crore क्यों खर्च कर दिए? Why you spend 4,000 crore on a Hindu festival, right? दो मैं तो कहता हूँ भाई हिंदुओं का पैसा तो सरकार ही ले लेती है, तो it's only सरकार which just to spend back. All will endowment fund, you will take all my money anyways, what I give to my tondis and temples. But
Hmm.
anyways, so this 4,000 crore rupees, CII calculated it generated the economy of 1.2 lakh. And this time, as Amritji was saying, the expected number is 2 lakh crore. So it's a very smart investment, in fact. So मतलब
Hmm.
हमको डिविनिटी का तो मिल ही रहा है, साथ में लक्ष्मी जी का भी वरदान मिल रहा है साथ साथ में. सो इट्स लाइक अ डबल वैमी. यू आर गेटिंग बोथ द बेनिफिट्स, द डिविनिटी एंड लक्ष्मी जी टुगेदर.
But now means, Shantanu, you have worked on Yogi Adityanath and his autobiographies, many initiatives, UP's infrastructure projects also you have researched a lot.
Right.
What difference does it make? Being Yogi ji there at the helm of affairs and Modi ji guiding from Delhi.
Yeah.
How do you see the things? You have seen that in 2019 also, and
Right.
2013 we have
Yeah.
experienced the entire fiasco. So
Hmm.
why? And you mentioned about he being the Mahanta elect and coming with his guru, but still, in terms of, many people do not understand in terms of administrator. Being a
Right.
month is one aspect, but this is
Yeah.
more about the numbers and the administration of entire कुंभ मेला. तो
Hmm.
ये योगी जी एक साथ महंत और प्रशासक दोनों रूप में ये कैसे मैनेज कर लेते? What has been your
Hmm.
observations and experience?
I think first thing which intrigued me, that even I missed in the initial days, that we didn't realize that he's also the Mahant or the Chote Mahant or the Mahant elect of Gorakshnath Math, which itself is a huge facility. I'm sure you are aware, and a lot of RSS camps happen in the mud facilities many times, right? And or their related institution, they run almost 44 big institution, Prafulji. And you know what is the size of the institution? 400 bed hospital, a nursing college, multiple schools with 5,000 kids, right? Multiple colleges running, multiple dharmshalas, many largest hotels and are in the mutt land. They technically run that city, the Gorakhpur from Gorakshnath Mutt. So, and this 22-year-old sannyasi in 19 from 1994 till now is running like a CEO. See, हमारे घर में छोटी सी बर्थडे पार्टी होती है तो हाथ पैर फूल जाते हैं, right? And okay, let alone the birthday party. When we all manage some marriage in the family, right? It's like a project for us, right? Huge project for us. मतलब जैसे कहते हैं हिल जाते हैं हम लोग, right? And this monk from 22 years of age is running this large institution meticulously like a CEO. I've seen him operating, and now he's managing the state also. So all this expertise. आपको याद है जब अयोध्या का second day था last time, right? And a lot of people were crowded, all the systems were not superbly in place. He flew back, he went to Lucknow, he flew back just to manage those systems. So he knew that I am doing this crowd management since I was 22. But during the Khichdi Bhoj, Basant Panchami, there is a huge crowd in the Gorakhnath Mutt. Lakhs and lakhs of people are come. So he's used to, he's available. He's not only visiting Kumbh, he's
अरे
from his
ये तो
own
ये तो
facilities.
सही में सरप्राइजिंग है, क्योंकि वो एक तरफ यहाँ पे कुंभ में पहला स्नान होगा, वहां पे वो खिचड़ी भोग भी चढ़ाए, मतलब क्योंकि
चढ़ाएंगे
भोगी हमारे
एग्जैक्टली।
यहाँ पे भी होती है, संक्रांति
हम्म।
और लोहड़ी और
बिल्कुल
संक्रांति
बिल्कुल।
आएगी, तो वहां पे मठ में भी उनको देखना है, मतलब दिस इज रियली
और
अमेजिंग।
अभी 11 जनवरी को जो उन्होंने अयोध्या में जाके पूजा भी हो गई, कि जो उसका 1 साल का
हाँ
हमारा द्वादश बैठा,
हाँ हाँ
उसकी भी
हाँ।
पूजा करके आ गए, राइट? सी ही इज द ओनली, ही इज द ओनली चीफ मिनिस्टर हु विजिटेड 75 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स ऑफ यूपी। कैन यू इमेजिन दैट? एंड ही हैज डन दिस मल्टीपल टाइम्स। हमारे यहाँ तो बड़े सारे ओमन थे, नोएडा नहीं जाना
हाँ
है,
हाँ
बिजनौर नहीं जाना है, वो बहुत सारे बने हुए थे कि यहाँ जाने से आप सीएम नहीं बनेंगे, वहां जाने से सीएम नहीं बनेंगे। उसने कहा भाई मैं नहीं जाऊंगा तो अपने लोगों की सेवा कैसे करूंगा? आई हैव टू बी देयर। ड्यूरिंग द कोरोना टाइम ही ऑलमोस्ट स्टूड एट द गाजियाबाद बॉर्डर, बस के साथ ना, कि भाई मैं देख के जाऊंगा, कैसे नहीं जाएंगे? जो लैक्स एंड लैक्स ऑफ पीपल कमिंग फ्रॉम कोटा, कमिंग फ्रॉम महाराष्ट्र, ऑल द कोचिंग प्लेसेस, और जो भी आ रहे हैं उनको मैं अपने शहरों में छुड़वाऊंगा। ही स्टूड देयर विद हिज कार एंड हिज बॉडी of team, right? So he's a very hands-on person since he's 22. So that's why it comes very natural to him. And then he's very receptive to technology. So all the technological interventions that you're seeing, hearing from Amrit ji, is very receptive there. मुझे याद है मैं जब भी उनसे मिलने जाता हूँ, in fact I recently gifted him this book, master class with Yogi Adityanath on Kumbh, and he was describing various things. कुछ भी है तो वो बात बात में अपना आईपैड उठा लेते हैं और कुछ डेटा दिखाने लगते हैं, राइट? ही इज वेरी सेवी विद, उनकी टर्मिनोलॉजी में आपको क्यूआर कोड, डैशबोर्ड, टारगेट, टीम वर्क, दीज आर इज नेचुरल जागन। वो हमारे साथ प्रॉब्लम क्या है ना, मतलब नॉट हमारे साथ, कि भाई भगवा पहना है तो घंटी वंटी बजानी आती होगी, हाउ कैन ही बी स्मार्ट, राइट? वो एक परसेप्शन बना रखा है कि इनको घंटी पूजा वूजा करनी आती होगी, दैट्स द ओनली थिंग ही एक्सपर्ट एट। वी फॉरगेट दैट ही वाज इन पार्लियामेंट फॉर 19 years and he was one of the best parliamentarians in those times. मतलब उनके नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, नंबर ऑफ डिबेट्स, नंबर ऑफ प्राइवेट मेंबर बिल वर 1.5 टाइम ऑफ द नेशनल एवरेज every time when I studied his different Lok Sabhas, right? He was asking about Japanese encephalitis and things when people were not able to pronounce Japanese encephalitis properly, right? So that's why now is all this expertise, like someone who is a BSc, MSc he missed by 2 months because he took sannyas, then a Gurukul training, then a 19 years of parliamentarian for running 44 institutions, roaming around India for election prachar, and with his mutt work also. That all expertise come together. So Yogi Adityanath is like a bomb package in himself. That all is unfurling, I think. Yeah.
Now, let us come back to Kumbh management. Now, very new aspects are there in Kumbh. Last time also we have seen, besides regular akhadas, Kinnar Akhada has taken a center stage almost. When entire world is discussing about the gender discourse and inclusivity, we have been celebrating
Imagine
Kinnar
that. I
Akhada.
always say this, that people are talking LGBTQ today. We have a Kinnar Akhada where there's a Mahamandaleshwar, it's part of a Juna Akhada, and we bow down to a Kinnar Mahamandaleshwar, right? And we take pride in that. So we need, no one can teach us
So
all these
we
identities,
don't need
right?
we don't need lessons on gender inclusivity from uh, Bidens and Trudeau's of the world. Uh, we have ingrained in our cultural traditions. But more important than that, I have been part of various parts of India. Gyana Kumbh has been organized this time, and Maha Gyana Kumbh is already on 10th of January started. Then Ek Thali, Ek Thaila kind of, where plastic free Amritji was talking about, but that is not happening. It is a huge participation from all over the world, thousands of plates and thousands of uh, um, 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 cotton bags are being provided there for the pilgrims to carry along. So the langars and the entire food facility that is going on with the now steel plates, and those plates are contributed by people from all over India. So this is going to be the Swachhata Kumbh. Then there is a Netra Kumbh going on. 5th
Going on,
January it has
exactly.
already started. So highest
Yeah.
number of eye treatments are going to take place in this
I
entire
think
Kumbh.
I heard number is 5 lakh and above, so, of
5
that
lakh,
order.
5 lakh around.
Yeah.
So this is the health care is one aspect. So knowledge, healthcare, and sustainability and environment. मतलब इससे बड़ा
I
धर्म
think to
क्या
my
होता है?
to my mind, Praful ji, any institution who's working in any field can come there and find their body of work, right? Be it the hygiene people, be it the medical people, be it the spiritual people, be it the management, urban development, water management, waste management, parking. There are 100 parkings with almost 5 lakh parking capacity, and with the app you can find which parking, how many cars are there, and you can meander through. So it's a technological advantage. Now there is a partnership with Google Maps, so that the 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 banks where river has just left 2-3 months back, there also you can guide through, right? You can find out even a Juna Khada on a Google Map, which was a river since 3 months back, right? So I think it's a playground for anything possible in large number. That's why it's so fascinating. And I'll through your podcast, I want to request everyone, go to the Kumbh government website. There's a smart chatbot. See, thousands and thousands of years back, when there was no facility, as Amrit ji said, devotees will anyway come. You will host them well or not. But today, when between Narendra Modi and Yogi Adityanath, they have provided you airports, amazing roads, amazing train networks, amazing set of facilities. I think there is no reason not to come, right? So if you have not plans as of now, still do make your plan. You have to travel, and also if you're taking a flight and Prayag is not convenient for you, you can land in a Kashi and it's not very far. You can land in Lucknow, not very far. You can land in a Ayodhya, it's not very far. You can land in a Delhi, it's not very far. 8-9 hours of journey on a train, right? And then government websites, homestays, hotels, your friends and families. If you are known to any mutt and akhadas, they have their lot of residential facilities, right? So do come, do make a plan. And personally, you can find me in any social media. I will guide. I'm almost become a mini helpline and guiding hundreds of people
Yeah,
every day, my friends, families, and how to go to Kumbh. People say, "अरे बहुत भीड़ होगी, बहुत भीड़ होगी." वही वाला perception है. Yeah, that
yeah.
bheed is spread in like acres and acres of land. आपके आँख के सामने नहीं है वो
And
bheed, right?
nowadays also means
Yeah.
13, 14 January, then in February around 12th Feb, there is
Exactly.
an
So
important day.
that's also a good advice कि थोड़ा 5 के फरवरी के बाद आएंगे तो it'll be far more easier. मौनी अमावस्या हो
So
जाने दीजिए 29 जनवरी को, उसके बाद it'll be far more
January,
easier for
and then 5th to 11th is one good window where you can
very good window. 5th
easily
to 11th
go
के
there.
12 से पहले, 3 के बाद और 12
या
से पहले,
फिर
3 फरवरी के
12
बाद
से
और
पहले
12 से पहले. It's a very good
and
window
and
for
then
lot of
and then
tourist devotees.
हाँ 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 और फिर 12 का स्नान होने के बाद भी 14 से 23 इज अनदर
बहुत लंबा
गुड
टाइम है,
विंडो.
बहुत लंबा टाइम है. 12 के स्नान के बाद 13 to 25. So try to avoid a
25
day in advance of a शाही स्नान and day next to शाही स्नान. वो थोड़ा अवॉइड कर ले ट्रैवल के लिए. Otherwise it's a very smooth ride. So yeah, वो कुंभ का जो स्लोगन भी यूपी गवर्नमेंट ने बताया कि हम सबके पुण्य फलें, आओ हम सब कुंभ चलें. So I think
हाँ
that's a
हाँ
good
हाँ
note to invite
तो
everyone through the podcast.
वो पुण्य पुण्य फल का मैं सिर्फ अपेक्षा यही करता हूँ कि हम एक वर्ल्ड में ये जो कल्चरल रिसर्जेंस है भारत का, दिस कल्चरल रिसर्जेंस का शोकेस करने का एक बहुत बड़ा अच्छा मौका महाकुंभ का ये ओकेजन है. एंड आई होप दैट all the myths and all the fake narratives that are being created around Kumbh are diminished with this, on the one hand, the social message, the spiritual message, the economic and the prosperity that we are seeing, the way, it has become a very important, vibrant, not just the infrastructure part, but even the, the employability and the way money is being circulated through Kumbh, and of course the contemporary challenges that. Just last part, Shantanu. There are a lot of concerns now, not about the stampede, not about the, bichadna, because the technology, I've seen that, the place where they have clearly created facilities, anything, not just the person, but even the things are missing, you can
Thing.
find them out
Yeah.
through with the help of technology. But there are people, you mentioned about the Pannu, there are
Yeah.
various outfits who are trying to so how would tell people to be more cautious and vigilant about these threats?
Though, see, UP government has, as Amritji was also rightly saying, has used best of the technologies to avert anything. Today, if you see all over social media, the NSG has the final drill, right? So there are best of the commandos placed there. There's 50,000 large police force with all the technology there. From 10th of January onwards, like which is already past month, no private drones can fly. right? So there are all government zone of drones. There are underwater drones also. If someone doing some mischief in a large riverbed, and the recognition technologies, control room is manned by highly advanced technology people. There are multiple partners that are working along with state government. So and as a participant of the Kumbh, we also have to be vigilant. It's our Kumbh. Government is just facilitating it. It's our Kumbh. And if we see anything which you think is suspicious, I think just contact the nearest police person, the security person. But I think Bharat has a huge kripa of Prabhu. So I think when a yogi is leading this whole Kumbh exercise, I'm sure everything will go amazingly well and divine. Yeah.
And how do you see this unfolding in 45 days? What has been your expectations, and how should we you know we can help our viewers and our friends, well wishers, to participate in this great event
See,
of the
see, see.
century?
Last time, so there are almost last time there were 5,500 camps. Right, one camp is,
Mhm.
let's say, Juna Akhada is one camp. I'm not saying the tents. Tent is more than 2 lakh. Juna Akhada is one camp. VHP is one camp. Right, Netradan is one camp. Parmar Niketan is one camp. Similarly, 10,000 such camps are there, like 13 akhadas and multiple social organizations, religious
Mhm.
organization, right? And every organization has a munch also. There
Mhm.
your from Zubin Nautiyal to Anup Jalotas to your
Mhm.
popular Kathavachaks to your all celebrities will be around, right? All your saint celebrity, which is a very, 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 very good thing that now saints are also become celebrity in India, which is a very good sign of Indian culture. So first of all, get that knowledge, right? Take a target. Let's say I told you about 13 akhadas. One target can be that I will go to every akhada, take a selfie in front of the door of the akhada, talk to 5 sadhus, understand what is their philosophy. That can be a smart project for a young group of kids, right? Let me find out what is this ancient akhadas about, right? Which I keep hearing. I'll try to take 5 big social initiatives, like the 5 lakh netra surgery you told, right?
Mhm.
Divya Jyoti Jagran Sansthan is doing youth camps, amazing
Mhm.
youth camp. They have a band which there's a very jazzy band which sings Deshbhakti song and bhajans in like full style and glamour. So and you can't go foodless. In fact, पेट खराब हो जाएगा, इतना खाना अवेलेबल होता है वहां पे ना, मतलब every camp is happening a different kind of food. A Maharashtra based camp and a Gujarati based camp and a Northeast based camp, तो आपको अलग अलग तरह का खाना भी मिलेगा, right? And there are boat rides. There are interesting part. There are a lot of migratory birds that come to Prayagraj that time, so it become very beautiful also with the presence of the very
Mhm.
white migratory birds and people feeding them. So, and then government has a lot of makeshift museums, digital museums, sound and light shows. Every pandal and government pandals are doing some cultural activity of some part of India. It's like the whole पूरा भारत समाहित हो जाता है वहां पे. The spiritual Bharat, the cultural Bharat, the advanced Bharat, the technological Bharat. It's a mini cosmos. See, almost one third of the population of India will travel there. 50 crore people, 40 crore people will travel there, right? So it's fascinating. And if you're missing it, you're missing something very big. I'm telling this to viewers. So I'm sort of fascinating to come there. So, and they will love it. They will find their own niche, what they want to explore. We have given them some ideas, but there are more to explore. They will find their own niche. The whole Instagram is full with the Prayagraj reels and Kumbh reels. I'm very happy about it.
As I had shared you, Dilip Roy and Indira Devi had written this wonderful book edited by K. Munshi, The
Yeah, you were
Ageless
telling me. Yeah.
Festival of India.
Ageless.
And
So what is the name? Say the name again. Say the name again.
the Ageless Festival of India,
The Ageless
Ageless.
Festival of India. Yeah.
There they said, there were three categories of people. One is, of course, the sadhus and the seers. The second category is the devotees, the pilgrims, and the third is the observers, who may not be very much interested in the spiritual and the religious aspect, but they just wanted to understand and critically observe the thing. And these authors actually went there as critics of Kumbh, and they turned, after getting those responses and experiences from the common devotees, why they have gathered there, from a villager to a big Shethji, that time a big businessman kind of people, and the sadhus and the seers. getting their responses, they realize that that is something beyond our comprehension with the rational mind and the typical Western methods of analyzing. So this is the thing that has kept us alive, and I hope, and we'll keep talking about it. I hope that the way we are visualizing it today, and this kind of experience can be actually internalized by entire Bharat, and then we can project to the entire world what Bharat stands for. This is this intangible heritage
Yeah, as
that
UNESCO rightly mentioned. Yeah.
that makes Bharat unique. Uh, that is our gift to the world. So I hope we will be able to see this fascinating unfolding and its long-lasting impact on our resurgence. Thank you, Shantanu, for sparing
No,
your
lovely,
time
lovely,
and
lovely chat. I'm sure we will keep bumping into each other during the Kumbh
oh yes,
in Prayagraj.
during
Yeah,
Kumbh
and
and
we'll
I
maybe
have
do a
the
chat
record
from
of
there.
oh
We'll do
yes,
some chat
yes,
sitting in the
certainly,
boat
certainly.
there, and the people who are not able to come from whatever reasons, let us take Kumbh to them in whatever capacity we can. Yeah.
Sure, 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 sure.
Okay. Okay.
Namaste,
Thank you,
namaste,
Prafulji.
and
Thank you for taking
thank you,
time.
thank
No.